Summer officially over. What was the biggest takeaway that you feel like? I know you'll have biggest takeaways as you go and you watch the film, but first synopsis after your scrimmage.
I was really pleased with our guys in terms of the work ethic, the competitiveness, and I thought great teammates to each other. I like the way the guys communicate, I like the way they treat each other. It's great coming in the morning, and every morning. You probably got 2/3 of your team in here in the morning, getting work in. And then, of course, how they competed, how they practiced, and those type of things. So overall, really, excellent start to the summer, and really a great 8 weeks. So, excellent start to the year, really, and a great 8 weeks to get started, build a foundation. I was really, again, those were the things that really jumped out to me. And then probably the other thing is, the depth of talent. You're in here a ton, so there's almost no way you could divide teams up that there wasn't a situation where guys are, it's even and guys are competing, and and the games weren't decided in the final. When we were competing, games were decided in the final possession or so.
What are areas you feel this team could be? I know there's multiple, but what areas do you think this team could be better at this year than really you were a year ago?
I hope every area, but no, for me, I think obviously offensively we're so much more advanced. We have so much more skill, ball handling, passing, shooting. Defensively, I think we have so much more size and lateral quickness and versatility on both ends. Offensively, I think our menu will be much more diverse. Because your menu is dependent upon the skill level of the people you're coaching, right? And so the more skilled your players, the more diverse your menu. And even our bigs, Robbie and Cade, and then small ball bigs, Calix and Jabo, all those guys can handle the ball, they can pass the ball, they can shoot. Robbie and Cade can bring it in transition and lead the break. And then, we got obviously a lot of, size and dynamic wing players. And I think the same thing holds true on the defensive end. We have that translation of size, versatility. We can be more diverse in what we do, whether that's how we're switching or how we're guarding actions and various things. So I hope we're better in all areas. I think we can be much better in terms of the areas offensively that you have to clean up, that jump off after last year. You got to take care of the ball better. And I think we'll be able to. You're going to have to be better on the offensive glass, generating second chance opportunities. And again, I think that's an area with our size and athleticism this year we should be much better at. And then, of course, your foul rate, getting the free throw line and putting pressure on the rim. And again, those are areas I think we'll be able to take a quantum leap in all three of those areas, which we'll need to be more efficient offensively than defensively. Again, we had some areas that we were solid in there, but certainly the ability to guard at a high level, to contest at a high level, to rebound, and like I said, to be kind of more diverse in how we guard people, not to be so kind of boilerplate, game in and game out. That this team will have that.
I think it's a testament too. We were talking about it privately a couple days ago, where I think there's multiple guys you can point to that have gotten better, and not just in this summer, but the whole off season. Just your returners in general. It seems like everyone you did have last year, whether it's Julian, Calix, Cooper, Hobbs, it seems like everybody has been better and has improved a lot.
Yeah, I think when people talk about teams, of course, the excitement's always about who's new. But a lot of, at least my experience at LMU, and I think would be the case here, is people undervalue internal improvement amongst returning players, and how much better guys get from year one, to year two, and 2 to 3, and 3 to 4, and so on. The ability to be in a system, as we call it, corporate knowledge of what we're doing. I think we've got a group of guys back that every single guy that's back is somebody we really wanted to return, and we asked to come back, and it was really hand selected in terms of the kind of guys we want, and part of that is their work ethic, and they care, and they're diligent. And so when you look at a Julian Larry, a Calix Stevens, a Zach Hobbs, a Cam Crawford, and even I think, Cam Henry's had a really good summer, Xavier Bled's had a really good summer, and those guys, I think when you have, critical mass working the way you're working, and guys are in more comfortable roles, Cooper Neese, guys don't have to carry as big a load. It allows them to play to their strengths more. And last year we were asking guys to do a lot, probably that was outside of not only maybe not what they're capable of doing, but probably what they're comfortable doing. And while that was not great in terms of our one-loss record, I think it was great for them individually because it really helped grow their game. No better way to learn something than to be thrown in the fire and has to do it. And because of circumstances, we had that last year. And those guys, Coop and Cam and Calix and Julian and Zach and Jabo and even Cam Crawford are better for the experiences they had last year. They all started games. They all played significant minutes. And now with a year in the system, particularly those other guys that weren't, the LMU guys, Xavier and Cam, this second year you could see their decision-making is enhanced. The speed of their decision-making is significantly enhanced. We're able to play, we didn't put anything in this summer, really able to play more rhythm and much less patterns. And that's a testament to them. They've really worked hard from March on to improve, and it was evident out here in the summer, June and July.
Cade even kind of mentioned to me during when he was in a break in the scrimmage today, he's like, I feel like I know so much more now. And where the first couple of weeks was kind of like a deer in headlights. Cade, I think, is a good example. I'm sure Trenton and those other guys, do you sense that those guys much different than when those first couple of weeks of summer compared to now round?
Yeah, I think when you look at Cade and Trent, they're both coming from situations. Cade playing the Truman State team, that was a really good team. They have, I think, 3 guys in the Valley. They got, Mason's here, Cade's here, and the big kid, Merriweather's at Drake. So they had a team where 3 of their starting 5s in the Valley now. So it was a good team, but he was the centerpiece of the team. And, he was their leading scorer, and he's an All-American, and they played a certain way, which was really good. They ran, they played fast as well. But for him to come in this system and have to adapt and adjust to the guys he's playing with, to a different system. Trent, kind of the same thing. He comes from Tusculum, balls in his hands, 95% of the time, and he's making all the decisions to an offense where, we're asking him to play with the ball, but certainly also without the ball. We're asking Cade to post up and to do the things he does well, and also, play on the perimeter and create action and be a trigger man for us and get our offense moving. And so different demands on those guys, different systems, and they were unbelievably successful in what they did. The thing you count on with both those guys, not only were they great players where they were both, obviously, Division II, All-American guys. They were both first-team academic All-Americans. They're 2 guys that graduated college in 3 years, completed a master's, or doing their second master's degree at Indiana State. So they're highly smart, highly intelligent, very, very driven. They care deeply, and so they were putting a lot of pressure on themselves those first few weeks of because they have such high standards for themselves. And I told them just keep working. It's going to come, and they study film. They work in the every morning. Those 2 guys are in here. They study the heck out of the film, and then they come in, and you can see their growth. Cade, by the end of the summer, had made grown leaps and bounds. Trent too. Their comfortability with the system, their comfortability with their teammates, and both those guys finished the summer, playing outstanding basketball. And I think it's just going to, as we come back in August, September, October, I think it's just going to continue to grow because of who they are and the kind of people they are, the kind of work ethic they have, the kind of drive they have, and the talent they have is a really nice combination for Sycamore fans.
I know last year, and you kind of told the guys in the post-game huddle or in your post-practice huddle, it was difficult to find 5 to start last year for different reasons. This year it'll be difficult to find a starting 5 for different reasons as well. How much of a challenge is it going to be to kind of find a starting 5 for you and your staff after this summer?
Yeah, I would say, I had some really good teams at LMU, and this is, I'd say last year was probably the thinnest in terms of depth I've had in, maybe my last 10 years at LMU. And then this year is probably, my 15 years as a head coach now, the deepest team I've ever had. So it's one extreme to the other. You'd much rather be in this situation. I think depth is overrated in a lot of ways. In today's game, you're not going to play 14 guys. You're not going to, some teams do press. You're not going to press and wear people down with media timeouts and all the stuff that happens. Those, that's not really the way it's played in 2022-23. However, where depth matters greatly is every day here in practice. The competition, the ironing, sharpening iron, where guys are coming in and they're going against other really good players and they're really pushing themselves. So our center spot, you got Cade McKnight is really good. Robbie Avila is fantastic freshman. Kaylee Stevens averaged 10-5 last year for us as an undersized big. Those three guys are really pushing each other. And then you got Julian Larry and Trent Gibson and Rob Martin, and you got Cavassier and Cam Henry and Cooper and Jason Cannon, all these different guys, and Mason Miller. And you go down the list of these guys, they are just pushing each other, and the competition's fierce. So that's going to help guys get better because they're going to come in every day and be challenged by their teammates. And we got a bunch of guys who I think, we talk about love to compete. We always talk about in recruiting, let's get guys who are, mentally and physically tough. Let's get guys who are smart. Let's get guys who love to compete. And these guys love to compete. So I think that's one aspect. It'll allow us to certainly play through, injuries and foul trouble, which we struggled with last year. We had a lot of last year. And then I think the most important thing depth does is it allows you, when guys aren't doing the right things, to sit them. And if guys aren't playing the way you need to play or aren't I think our depth is going to be really beneficial there. Where it becomes a challenge is making sure, as we get our rotation set, whether that's going to be 7 or 8 or even 9, you're probably not going to do any more than that. You're going to have some good players who aren't getting to play as much, and everybody's going to have to sacrifice. And that's one of the challenges we've talked about with this group from last year. Basically we were playing guys 40 minutes a game, and guys were playing, tip to buzzer, and if we played double overtime, you're playing 50 minutes. This year you're not going to see that because of the depth. Everyone's going to have to sacrifice, and that's going to be the challenge when you have the talent that we do, when you have the depth that we do. Those things aren't in question. Now what you have to have with that is a level of unselfishness, a level of sacrifice, a level of, team above self, and that everybody's going to have to give up, whether that's shots, minutes, whatever, for the good of the group. And so that's going to be a challenge for me. It's going to be a challenge for this group, but we've talked about it from the jump. We have to be a group that enjoys each other's success. You have to be a group that really enjoys each other's success. And out here, we haven't had that adversity yet. We're obviously splitting up teams. We only got, 7 guys a team, so it's not. But when we get to where we're playing other opponents and you got some guys that are sitting, I'll say this, I trust the character of the group. I trust the guys in that room, in that locker room, and I do think, that they'll handle it well. I think we got a group that will sacrifice for each other, that will compete for one another and care for one another, and will be great teammates, whether they're playing 40 minutes or not playing at all.
I don't think there's any question this group has a lot of offensive potential. Do you feel this group also has defensive potential?
I do. It's hard in practice to tell, because you're going so whenever something happens, it's at the expense of the other. So if you're really scoring easy, you feel like, well, defensively we're bad, or if you're not scoring, offensively you're bad. So it's sometimes hard when you're going against yourself. But yes, I do think we have the tools to have a really good defensive team. We got some guys that can slide. We got a lot of size across the board. I think we have a lot of versatility, like I said, in being able to switch a lot and be able to give people different looks in terms of how we want to guard stuff. I think our bigs, Cade and Robbie, while not super athletic, they're both fantastic rim protectors. They're elite, even though they've only been here this summer, vertical contest guys and protecting the rim. When you got guys, Jason Kent 6'8", Henry 6'6", Voss 6'6", Jabo 6'6", got a lot of guys in that range. Coops, I think, a vastly improved defender. Julian Larry was arguably, the best perimeter defender in the league last year, I think, and he's got the size and strength to guard multiple positions. So I do think it's there. Obviously, in practice right now, our offense has been, we've been hard to guard for ourselves. But, again, that's partially probably good offense, and the defense has to come along. There's been days where the defense has been better and the offense has struggled. But, again, until we play outside competition and are able to really see it against and have a comparison, we won't know. But I think our defensive potential is every bit as high as our offensive potential. I really believe that.
Why did you feel it was important for your message, is kind of your closing message to the guys for the summer, was players win games, teams win championships? Why was that something you kind of wanted to touch up on to end your summer?
Just, making sure we talk all the time. We have a lot of firepower. We got a lot of talented guys. And we finished today with a scrimmage and played some 10-minute quarters. And there was times where I thought we really did a great job of amplifying all that firepower and making each other better. There was times where we guarded ourselves, and it's a balance. I always think the sweet spots in life are finding kind of the equilibrium in paradox. So we always talk about offensively, want to play really fast, loose, and disciplined. And obviously that doesn't necessarily equate, but that's what you want to do. You want to play fast, loose, and disciplined. The discipline is in taking care of the ball and in your shot selection. Fast, loose, and frantic or careless is not good. There was times where it was that. There was times where it was really good. So just reminding them that this ultimately, the strength of this group is that. You know, we talked about in film coming in today, you know, and really trying to continue to drive home, you know, daily improvement, daily excellence. Stay focused on those two things. Trust your process, trust your teammates, trust your work, and the results will be there. We have enough, you know, talent and character, depth, those things to have a really good basketball team. Now those intangible things, the commitment level, how competitive are we? I think we answered that a lot this summer. Now it's going to be those little things that separate, you know, good teams from championship teams, and now you're really getting into, you know, the togetherness, the unselfishness of the group, the sacrifice of all those things that they have to do on both ends of the floor. You get into, you know, with these groups, you know, those type of intangible, you know, how are they going to respond? You know, how are we going to respond when adversity hits? How are we going to respond in a game when stuff goes awry? And so those are the challenges that they've got to answer. We won't be able to answer those till November, December, January. But I want to keep that at the forefront. A lot of talent, a lot of really good players, a lot of great kids, great teammates. But, you know, if you're going, it's the best team at the end that wins. You don't get a trophy for, you know, winning the scoring title. You don't get a trophy for leading the league in assists. You don't get a trophy for any of that stuff. Teams win championships, and we want to be the best team. And so that's our challenge. And we laid a great foundation, but now, you know, we get a little bit of 3.5 weeks here to break, and then we come back, and it's back to work here in August. And it'll go fast from August to November. I know that.